Everybody, welcome to Storm Talk. Waythrough News meteorologist Brian Good. Didn't get a chance to update yesterday, and I'm not sure I'll get a chance to tomorrow, but so it's going to be kind of spotty with the updates this week. But today, I certainly want to update you guys on how things are trending. The sky today really outside tells a story about how it's going to be a mixed layer of upper layer clouds and mid-layer clouds passing through, and at times even a lower layer cloud deck, especially south of town, that could give a few showers. I'll show you that in a second. But it'll be this off and on cloud setup today that's going to allow for what we call a mixed sky, and that'll allow for at least enough warming though to get us into the 70s. You can see from the satellite image how it's kind of hit or miss depending on your location here for this morning. The showers so far have been limited to our south. This next little wave is moving in. It's a decent little wave. It's holding together pretty good, so it is going to likely produce some showers that work their way right into our southern counties as we head into this morning. Most of us, though, will miss out on that, especially the one north and west you are of this area, of the parkways, I should say. Otherwise, the next round of rain is the warm front, if you will, and it's a warm front. It's kind of draped almost due south, but it is heading our way. It'll likely give us a chance for some showers and maybe some rumbles of thunder late tonight towards tomorrow morning. The main low it's attached to, though, you can see the spinning motions back here in the Twin Cities. That is going to take a very unusual turn all the way down into Kentucky and then slowly backtrack and then back up to the east from there. So a very odd track it'll take, and to do that means it's going to keep the rain chance prolonged, and it'll mess with our numbers temperature wise as well. First off, as we head into Wednesday, that low begins to move in. The eastern side of it will be the heaviest side of the low. That's where you get your lightning, your thunder, maybe some small hail. The eastern side of it's the noisier side and the heavier side. That will impact us mainly for the morning. Now once we get into the afternoon, it's mainly going to lift enough to where all the action will be mainly focused on the northern eastern flank of the low. We'll begin to see a lot of our southern counties taper off to very light rain at that point. As far as instability goes, very meager instability. There's not a lot to work with. Just enough to create some lightning, it looks like. More so for eastern Kentucky because of the timing of the low moving in. It'll hit eastern Kentucky during the max heating of the day, a better chance for peak heating. Therefore, you may have a few stronger wind gusts and maybe some hailstones to deal with in our areas east of 65 or east of even 75 the way it looks now. But timing's in our favor here to keep it more on the calmer side as it moves through. And when you got lows like this, when you're underneath the low in general, there's not a lot of wind, so there's not a lot of support for that severe weather potential. A little bit different case for Georgia and South Carolina, and perhaps into southeast Kentucky. You may get enough wind there mixed in with that heating of the day. It won't surprise me to see a marginal risk for East Kentucky come out when we get closer, but for us, it's doubtful. Then on Thursday, as the low continues to move to the north, we're going to be on the backside, the cooler side of that, and it's going to allow for some, we'll call the stratiform rain showers to move through. And we'll have to monitor this because the longer this low sticks around, the more rain we're going to get. Overall, I think it's about 1 to maybe 2 inches of rain, and places like Salem that have been hit hard with heavy rain. This is the last thing you want to hear. So we need to monitor the rivers carefully and monitor for any urban flooding that could take place. So stay close to the forecast there. And the upper level winds are showing a bit of a wind field on Thursday. That would tell us that along with the rain showers, a bit breezy at times, and a bit of a chill to the air, if you will. Temperature struggling through the 60s. Not a great looking day. I know I'm selling you on it. As we head toward the end of the weekend, the holiday weekend, this is the upper level pattern. These are all upper level lows. Let me change my wand so you can see the color. Hold on 1 second. There we go. These are all upper lows that are kind of moving through the jet stream pattern. You can see how many of them there are. And the wind arrows aloft tell you that if you got a flow that's more in this direction of a west-southwest flow, you're not going straight off the Gulf of Mexico here. So there's not a lot of moisture to work with and not a lot of heat to work with, but just enough to keep things active. The first round of thunderstorm actions, what we call mesoscale convective complexes, or MCSs or MCCs, will find their way in this flow. These little X's mark the spots of that. The first one, depending on where the warm front is Friday, will dive down Friday night. This one looks to be a nocturnal one, Friday night and early Saturday. How much of an angle of a dive it takes, it depends on where the front is, because that'll be the train track for it. So something to watch. Saturday morning could still have at least some lift going on here, produce maybe some early morning thunderstorms Saturday. But by Saturday afternoon, it looks like the warm front will be just far enough north that the next round of MCSs, complexes, thunderstorms that roll on it, will be more in the upper Ohio Valley. If that trend holds, that's good. Let's keep it north. But as we get back into Sunday and to at least early Monday, we'll get back into some of the action moving back into our area. Here's the overall, and I don't want to get too technical here, but here's the overall setup. When you're dealing with mesoscale convective systems, they're blobs on the radar of thunderstorms, and they basically will take, at times, like a little comma shape to them, almost their own little mini low pressure, if you will. And they can produce some strong winds, straight line winds especially, and very heavy rainfall. But they have a mind of their own when they get going, and they're difficult to pinpoint when they get started, but once they get going, it's easy to track them from that point on. But it also means it's not going to rain all the time this weekend. There'll just be complexes rolling on by, and they may roll north, may roll to our south, may roll right on top of us, day or night. Just be weather aware this weekend for that potential for one of those complexes to roll on through, because it could quickly change your plans in a hurry. And yes, damaging winds would be an issue there. All right. Now, here's the thing. Even as we get into next week, after the holiday's over with, we're still finding ourselves, through the wind arrows here, it's mainly a northwest flow. The Gulf is still shut off as we move into June. That means we're going to stay cooler than normal and perhaps unsettled with several fronts moving in and rain chances. So not exactly a summer-like feel to the forecast, even though temperatures may get into the 80s every once in a while. It's not going to be a beautiful pattern coming our way the way it looks like as we head into June. We'll be fine-tuning that forecast as we get closer.